Hello, my dear children and parents. Welcome to class 7th of Indus Valley Public School RAT, where we will be doing lesson number 5 from your Honeycomb book, and it is written by John Galsworthy. So, my dear children, in this lesson, we are going to study about the quality. How quality is an important element of any object, and we will conclude whether only quality is enough for an object or anything else is also required in order to become a successful person. Here we will be learning about a character, Mr. Gessler, who was a German, and he was a very good boot maker. We will be seeing his lifestyle, his life study, how much he was dedicated towards his work, and finally what happened to him. Okay, so before moving to the lesson, we should know about the author, and the name of the author is John Galsworthy. Now, about the author, John Galsworthy. He is an American novelist and playwright. He was born on 14th August 1867 at Kingston Hill in Surrey, England. He was awarded Nobel Prize in Literature in 1932. He did his education from Oxford University, New College, and Harrow College. He left this world on 31st Jan 1933. Okay. Now about the lesson. So this story is about a struggling shoemaker's dedication to his work. The author knows him as someone who thinks and works with the passion and an artist, to the limit that the shoe he makes are masterpieces in themselves. But in the end, the story tells us about the sad loss of art and quality in today's world of mass-produced big brands and consumerism. Okay, consumerism means the people who are having many consumers. Okay, now here we will be having two characters, the storyteller, that means the author, and the Gessler brothers, about whom the story is. So see here, there is a shop of Mr. Gessler. Okay, and he used to put only very few pairs of shoes in front of the display, in the display. Now here in this lesson we are going to learn various themes like dedication to quality work, tragedy, loyalty, and old age. So these are the topic, or you can say these are the theme which we will be reading in the lesson. Okay children, now moving towards the lesson. My dear children, here comes with lesson number 5. So before we start with the lesson, we will be reading something. Can a shoemaker be called an artist? So what do you mean by artist? So artist is a person who used to make things very differently, very beautifully. Okay, or you can say a person who practice creative arts. Okay, yes, if he has the same skill and pride in his trade as any other artist, and the same respect for it too. So a shoemaker is also considered as an artist if he possesses all the quality of an artist and should have the same respect for it. So means whatever the thing, whatever the work a shoemaker is doing, if he has the same love, same respect for his work, then he can also be called as an artist. Mr. Gessler, a German shoemaker settled in London. So Mr. Gessler, around whom the story will revolve. So he was from German and he settled in London. Is a perfect artist. Read the story to see how he devoted how he devotes his life to his art. So now we will be reading the story that will revolve around Mr. Gessler, and here we will find his dedication, his devotion, his enthusiasm, his zeal towards the work, but as a businessman he was not successful. Why? So we are going to read about it. Fine, my dear children. So moving ahead to the lesson, quality. I knew him from the days of my extreme youth, because he made my father's boots. He lived with his elder brother in his shop, which was in a small by street in a fashionable part of London. So my dear children, here I is the speaker, the author, and he is saying that he knows him. Who is him here? Him is Mr. Gessler. So author is saying that I know Mr. Gessler from his childhood, because his father, whose father? Author's father, used to make his shoes, his boots from Mr. Gessler. And Mr. Gessler used to live with his elder brother in the shop itself, and that shop was in the small street in a fashionable part of the London. Now, coming to the next paragraph. The shop had a certain quite distinction. Distinction means difference. The shop was having some difference from other shop. There was no sign upon it other than the name of Gessler Brothers. So only Gessler Brother was written. See here, I will show you the shop. See here, only Gessler Brothers. So nobody can make it out what kind of thing it is, what kind of shop it is. Hardly a few pair of shoes were there on the display. Why? Because they are from the order. The person who used to give the order, only that shoe Mr. Gessler is going to make, another he will not make any extra. Okay, and then he will put it into the display. So this is only the description that you will find. Now coming here, the shop had a certain quite distinction. There was no sign upon it other than the name of Gessler Brothers, and in the window a few pairs of boots. Okay, he made only what was ordered, and what he made never failed to fit. So whatever the stuff, whatever the shoes he is making, it is at most fit इन कंडीशन, मीन्स बहुत ही अच्छी कंडीशन में बनाता था, बहुत ही मस्त फिटिंग होती थी उसकी. इट विल नॉट गिव एनी काइंड ऑफ lacuna while wearing it. Okay, to make boots, such boots as he made, seemed to me then, and still seem to me, mysterious and wonderful. So now the speaker, the author is saying the boot made by Mr. Gessler, really a mystery. I'm not able to understand how he made it. Means it is so perfect, it is so nicely fitted on my feet that I cannot make. Really, it is a wonderful way of making the shoes by Mr. Gessler. I remember well my shy remark one day while stretching out to him my youthful foot, "Isn't it awfully hard to do, Mr. Gessler?" And his answer, given with a sudden smile from out of the redness of his beard, "It is an art." So now the author is saying that I was feeling shy in order to stretch my feet in front of him to take the measurement of my feet to make the shoes. Then he said, "It's looking very bad that I'm stretching my feet in front of you, Mr. Gessler." Then Mr. Gessler smiled and said, "No, not a problem. It's my art to do it." Okay. It was not possible to go to him very often. His boots lasted terribly, having something beyond the temporary, some essence of boots stitched into them. So now here author is saying that his visit to his shop was not so often. It is very less. Why? Because whatever the material he used to make, it lasts forever, it lasts very long. तो वहाँ पे कोई रिपेयर करने का चांस ही नहीं आता था, बिकॉज उसका जो बूट होता था ही मेड सो नाइसली, सो परफेक्टली, सो गुड टू फिट कि कोई चांस ही नहीं मिलता था दोबारा उसकी शॉप में जाके उसको रिपेयर कराने का. ओके फाइन. नेक्स्ट पैरा. One went in. not as into most shop, but restfully, as one enters a church and sitting on the single wooden chair waited. So now author is saying that once he went to his shop and it was very calm, it was very silent place, as if he was sitting inside the church on a single chair, single wooden chair. Why? Because it was so peace, so calm was there. Like other shops, many people are there, too many public is there, too many people are there inside the shop. They were talking, they used to see the material. But in Mr. Gessler's shop, it is very silent, nobody was there, very calm, very peaceful place was there. A guttural sound and the tip-tap of a sleeper beating the narrow wooden stairs, and he would stand before one without coat, a little bent in leather apron, with sleeves turned back, blinking as if awkward from some dreams of boots. So now what happened? This speaker, the author, was waiting for Mr. Gessler, and he said that suddenly he heard a voice, very harsh voice. The guttural means harsh and grating, throat infection वाली जो आवाज़ होती है खरकश वाली, that way he heard the sound. And the tip tap once means if you were getting down from the stairs, तो जो आवाज़ आती है ना tip tap, that voice he was able to hear. And he would stand before one without coat, and that fellow Mr. Gessler was standing in front of the speaker. He was little bent because of his age, and he has a leather apron, so he was wearing a leather apron with sleeves turned. So he has folded the hands for sleeves, and his eyes was blinking as if he was in the dreams of boot. Means he was planning for different boots, what design should give, which material to be used. So he was in the dreamland of boot. This was described by the author as you have seen. And I would say, how do you do, Mr. Gessler? So now author is asking about Mr. Gessler, how he is. Could you make me a pair of Russian leather boots? Author is demanding for Russian leather boots from Mr. Gessler. Without a word, he would leave me retiring whence he came, or into the other portion of the shop, and I would continue to rest in the wooden chair, inhaling the incense of his trade. So now what happened, when I asked whether he is going to make me a Russian pair of boots, then he did not reply anything. He just went inside, and I was just resting inside his shop, and I was smelling the essence. I was having the smell of the different kind of stuff that was kept inside his shop, like trade. Trade means his business. What was the business of Gessler? The Gessler trade was to make the shoe. So the author was smelling this trade. Soon he would come back, holding in his hand a piece of gold brown leather. With eyes filled on it, he would remark, "What a beautiful piece!" So now what happened? He went inside. Who? Mr. Gessler went inside. He brought the piece of leather, and the color of that leather was gold brown. And with his eyes fixed on it, would remark. Now Mr. Gessler was looking continuously on that leather piece, and he's saying, "What a beautiful piece." Children, you will find some German accent. Okay, but on the side you will be having the explanation of German accent. So what a beautiful piece means, it's a beautiful piece. Okay, so when I too had admired it, he would speak again. "When do you want them?" So now I was just admiring the leather piece. Immediately Mr. Gessler asked me, "When do you want?" Means what I want my pair of shoes. So Mr. Gessler asked me, "When do I want this Russian pair of shoe?" And I would answer, "Oh, as soon as you conveniently can." So I said, "As per your convenience." And he would say, "Tomorrow for night." Or if he were his elder brother, I'll ask my brother. So he said, "Tomorrow for night you can take, or else I will ask my brother." Then I would murmur, "Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Gessler." "Good morning," he would reply, still looking at the letter in his hand. So now I thanked him, and I said, "Okay, thank you." And he also replied me, "Thank you," but he was not looking at me, he was looking at his leather piece. And as I moved to the door, I would hear the tip-tap of his slippers going up the stairs to his dream of boots. So now as soon as I was going out of the shop, I heard the noise again, tip-top, as he was climbing his room, his work area, and he will again move to his dreamland of boots. See here, we have read this appearance of Mr. Getzler. Because of his old age, he is tilt, he is wearing apron, and his sleeves is folded. He is having a material in his hand, and this author is sitting and he is feeling shy in order to show his feet for the measurement. Okay, so this was already explained in the previous paragraph. Now, I cannot forget that day on which I had occasion to say to him, Mr. Getzler, the last pair of boots creaked, you know. So now author is saying that whatever the material, whatever the boots were made by Mr. Getzler was perfect. But that day I felt, and I cannot forget that particular day when I realized the pair of shoes made by him that was creaking, that was some sound was coming from that shoes. But why, I don't know. And I was surprised, you know, and I cannot forget that particular day. He looked at me for a time without replying, as if expecting me to withdraw or qualify the statement. Then said, shouldn't have creaked. So now what happened, when I complained about the pair of boots, Mr. Getzler was looking at me as if I should withdraw my complaint. I should say, no, it's okay, does not have any kind of sound. But he was looking at me for some time, and then he said, it should not have the creak sound. अब बोला किसी कोई creak sound तो नहीं आना चाहिए. It did, I'm afraid. So he's saying, I'm afraid if it's doing. You got them wet before they found themselves. So now Mr. Getzler is saying that it might got wet before we started using them. I don't think so. So author is saying that no, I cannot think this way. At that he lowered his eyes. So there was a fault in his shoe. So he just in order to show that fault thing, his eyes was down, as if hunting for memory of those boots. And I felt sorry I had mentioned this grave thing. Send them back, he said, I'll look at them. So now what happened, he was recalling the memory. How can it be possible, what are things happen if I made such kind of boot? And then he said, okay, send them back. He asked them to return them back, and I'll check it out what is the problem. Who said this thing? Mr. Getzler. Some boots, he continues slowly, are bad from birth. If I can do nothing with them, I take them of your will. So he is saying that some boots, they are not good from its origin, from its manufacturing. If any problem is there, I will adjust the amount in the bill. I will return you the amount. Only once, I went absent-mindedly into his shop in a pair of boots bought in an emergency at some large firm. So what happened, I had once, it was very emergency for me to purchase a a pair of boots. So I just went to any other shop and I have purchased. He took my order without showing me any leather, and I could feel his eyes penetrating the inferior covering of my boot. So I went to his shop for the order, and what happened, he was looking at my boot as this. I have not purchased from his shop, I purchased from some other shop, but the quality was not as good as compared to Mr. Getzler. So now what he is saying that at last he said, those are not my boots. So looking at my boots, because I was his permanent customer, I used to purchase, I used to put the order of my boots from his shop only. But this time I was not wearing his shoes, I was not wearing the shoes made by him. So immediately Mr. Getzler said, these are not my boots. See how punctual, how dedicated he was. Who? Mr. Getzler. कि वो अपने ही बनाई हुई चीज़ को तुरंत पहचान जाता था. This time the author was not wearing the shoes made by him, and immediately Mr. Getzler said, this is not my boot. See, this is what you can call dedication. The tone was not one of anger, nor of sorrow, not even of contempt, but there was in it something quiet and froze the blood. So now what happened here? Author is saying that when Mr. Gessler said that these are not my boots, so he is saying that Mr. Gessler was not complaining, he was not angry, nor he was in sorrow, but he not even he was disrespecting anything ki why you have purchased from there, but there was something quite that froze the blood, but something dissatisfied, something that was there that made him stand still. He put his hand down and pressed a finger on the place where the left boot was not quite comfortable. So now he can immediately, by seeing it, he can say that what is the problem inside the boot. So he just went down, he pressed his finger on where left boot was not quite comfortable. So my left boot was not comfortable. He immediately pressed that point and said, here you are not feeling comfortable. It's you there, he said. So now he is saying that this hurts me. So it hurts you there. Those big firms have no self-respect. So by pressing that particular point, Mr. Gessler is saying to the author, the narrator, that this is the particular point where you are having problem, where you are getting hurt from these boots. Now he is saying that those big worms have no self-respect. So he has a complaint against the big firm. Who? Mr. Gessler. He is saying that big firms do not have any kind of self-respect, and then as if something had given away within him, he spoke long and bitterly. It was the only time I ever heard him discuss the condition and hardship of his trade. So now author is saying that this was the first time when he found Mr. Gessler a little bit bitter, and he started discussing about his business, about his trade, and Mr. Gessler was not in the support of the business firm, big firms. They get it all, he said. So he is saying that they get it all. They used to do all kind of things. They get it by advertisement, not by work. So now Mr. Gessler is saying that these all big firms, what they used to do? They used to publicity, or they used to give advertisement of their product, and they do not work on it. The quality is inferior. The whole focus is on giving the advertisement of particular thing, but they do not care about the quality. They take it away from us whose love our board. So now he is saying they take it away from us who love our boots. It comes to this presently. I have no work. Every year it gets less. So now author is complaining that they used to attract who? These big firms, they used to attract the public, and the public used to go there, and he said that, and day by day Mr. Gessler's business is getting down because he is not having the customer. And the reason for it that he takes too much time to make the boots. उसको बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम लगता था बूट्स बनाने के लिए. ओके, तो वो क्या होता है, उसको टाइम लगता था, तो वो टाइम पे दे नहीं पाता था, तो पब्लिक क्या होती थी, दूसरी शॉप की तरफ डाइवर्ट हो जाती थी. एंड दिस बिग फर्म दे यूज टू अट्रैक्ट, दे यूज टू गिव डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ ऑफर्स, and they attract the public. I had never noticed before bitter things and bitter struggle, and what a lot of grey hairs there seemed suddenly in his red beard. So now the author is saying that he had never seen Mr. Gessler in such a bitter mood, and everything that he is telling about the big firm. So it is clearly shown here Mr. Gessler is not having a positive attitude towards the big firm. As best I could explain the circumstance of those ill-omened boots, but his face and voice made so deep an impression that during the next few minutes I ordered many pairs. They lasted longer than ever, and I was not able to go to him for nearly 2 years. So what happened, after talking to Mr. Gessler, I found that too many things, मतलब कि वो बहुत वो था ना अपशगुन वाली बातें हो जानी and all from that boot. तो he in order to help Mr. Gessler ordered many pairs of boots, and he was not able to pick all these boots for last 2 years. वो 2 साल तक वहाँ जा नहीं पाया उस boots को उठाने के लिए. So in order to help Mr. Gessler, author had ordered many pairs of shoes, but he was unable to pick them for 2 years. So all these pairs were lying with the Mr. Gessler for last 2 years. It was many months before my next visit to his shop. This time it appeared to be his elder brother handling a piece of leather. So now he is saying that my visit to the shop was after so many days, and this time I am meeting his elder brother and he was not there in the shop. Well, Mr. Gessler, I said, how are you? He came close and peered at me. I am very well, he said slowly, but my elder brother is dead. So now Mr. Gessler went to the shop and he's asking, hello Mr. Gessler, how are you and how is everything is going on? Then that fellow came near to the Mr. Gessler and I saying everything is fine, but my elder brother is dead. He said, I'm fine, but my elder brother is dead. And I saw that it was indeed himself, but how aged and worn. And never before had I heard him mention his brother. Much shocked, I murmured, oh, I am sorry. So now what happened? So here he is saying that when he heard about death, he was shocked. And he said Mr. Gessler never ever has told about his brother, and this time, first time, he was in shock when he murmured that, and others said, okay, I'm so sorry for that thing. Okay. Yes, he answered. He was a good man. He made a good boot, but he is dead. So he was a very good man. He used to make very good boots, and now he is dead. And he touched the top of his head where the hair had suddenly gone as thin as it had been on that of his poor brother to indicate, I suppose, the cause of his death. Do you want any boots? And he held up the leather in his hand. It's a beautiful piece. So now he is saying that after discussing so many things, after discussing about the death of the brother, now he is telling, Mr. Gessler asking, do you want to know why he is dead? What is the cause of his death? And then after some time he was having a leather piece in his hand and he was showing that this is a beautiful piece, and would you like, do you want to have any other boots or not? So here he is showing a piece of leather and asking to the author, do you want any other piece, because that is over, my brother is dead. So now I will accept if you have any other demand, and I will make the boots. So children, here I am ending my video, and in the next video I'll continue with the lesson. So go through the part, and if any doubt, please do ask me and call me up at any point of time. Thank you so much. Take care.